Afternoon and welcome to the Blue Line Metals Edge here for Wednesday, December 1st. I'm Phillip Streible, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our channel here. We were trying to build this thing out. Also, if you have any questions, you want to check out anything, some of our research, you can register for a free 2-week trial for the Blue Line Express. Covers all your actionable levels on silver, gold, most of the macro markets. So trying to do a bit of detective work and really focus on silver today. It was one of the weaker commodities, down about 2%. Many of the other commodities were taken back off to the upside, had this kind of turnaround Wednesday. Seems like they're saying that the new COVID variant is not as bad, some of the symptoms, things like that. So might get spread all over, but it doesn't seem like you're going to see like a big uptick, hospitalizations, deaths, things like that. So that's at least the way I'm interpreting it. Looking at futures performance, something I want to identify is silver is one of the worst performing commodities for 2021 for whatever reason. I could tell on like something like cocoa where they produced a ton of it and the demand is just not there because they can't distribute it. So is it something with some of these other markets like soybean meal, palladium, platinum? I just don't know. I do believe that a lot of the platinum is the mining and also, the semiconductor, the chip shortage and things like that. Japanese yen, that's a safety currency. So you get equities going straight up. Of course, they're going to sell the yen. And we are going to taper and rate hike and everything faster than Europe is. And so that's why that's terrible. And then also, so all these really, like I said, there's a story behind each one. Silver's kind of the oddball, the outlier. And it could be, it could be those banks. They could be shorting it, who knows? But, I see today with silver down, pulling up the chart here, just digging right into it, down about 45 cents. And it really kind of broke down. So there's your daily chart. Actually, no, that's the 10-minute chart. So you can see it's just about on the low. You go to the daily chart, and we've been down 12 out of the last 13 days or 11 out of the last 12 days. I mean, you can just count them off right here. You can see we're going to oversold territory on stochastics. ADX straight to this downtrend is quite strong. MACD rolling over. You've got average range. It's up there pretty high. So any rally they're getting, they're really whacking it. Just at least recently. So I'm trying to figure out why though. Like that's what everyone always asks. Why? So I start looking at a couple things here. So back when it was peaking, right in this area, it was a story that was on Reuters, and it was silver demand shoots the highest since 2015. That's what the Silver Institute, they're widely respected when it comes to silver. And I was looking at industrial figures, and industrial demand, that's your kind of your biggest demand here. And then you get your that physical investment. I know that with Ampex, everybody would clean them out. I know a few guys are in the process of doing it. Jewelry demand, I think that's kind of stagnant. But that solar demand should come back. But industrial demand, that's the thing that I want to hit on here real quick. And you look at I Googled just silver manufacturing demand. It's expected to exceed 1 billion ounces, with half of that coming from industrial demand to manufacture tech and silver components, right? So you go to today and you start looking at some of the data that came out, and it's a lot of manufacturing data globally. And this mixed manufacturing data, I took some notes here from some other analysts, and they're saying that the mixed manufacturing data confirms that the post-Delta bounce had basically peaked. So they think some of that demand is going to come down. Now, the big thing that I think with silver, and the other thing is that this manufacturing data, I believe that it's actually going to come back up again because they need to resolve some supply chain bottlenecks to get the product in order to manufacture what they're doing. So these people believe that manufacturing data had already peaked, but they resolved supply chain issues. I think we take another turn back upwards. So strolling down the list here, you can see if you go through Spanish was weaker. This is, Swiss manufacturing data was weaker. You get Italian beating, but then, you come down, you get Germany's a little bit lower. And it's like a lot of these kind of things here, they tend to play some kind of role, at least in the price of silver from the manufacturing, which makes up a large component of it. So I believe that there's something going on right there. So that's kind of all I have on silver. Two things we did: we picked up some March silver, the futures contracts. We're going with like the 1,000 ounce because we're trying to pick a bottom on there, so you do need to tread lightly. And then the other thing we're doing is, in case it does turn around, some bottlenecks get resolved, some things turn around in the markets, all of a sudden it gets just a couple of the calls that I made today, people were like, whoa, that's pretty cheap. That's like, this is like, we need to be buying it down here. So if they could turn this market around, we bought the March silver 24.5, 27 call spread, costs about 35 to 39 cents, so between 1,700 and $2,000. The max profit on it at expiration, if we're over 27 bucks, would be 12,500 less what you pay for it. So you're looking at about 10 grand would be the max gain, a little bit more than that. So that's a trade that we put on today. We did hit on a few other markets. The S&P, the NASDAQ, volatility is really picking up in those markets. You got to watch out. It's almost non-investable. There's a lot of people thinking we're going to get a Santa Claus rally, or we could be crashing, burning if we go into a slowing market and the Fed is going to aggressively tighten. Some of these other markets are kind of taking a pause. Crude oil futures giving back all of its gains again. So OPEC meeting, that will conclude tomorrow. See if they do any adjustments. Some of the grains kind of all over the place. So volatility is definitely the key theme. So when volatility gets really big in the market, make sure, you should have some kind of protection with stops, but you're probably going to get stopped out. So what you want to do is, maybe instead of doing 5,000 ounces on silver, you do 2,000 ounces on silver, and then you make your stop twice as far as what you would have with a 5,000 ounce. So that's kind of everything I got for you here today. You got any questions, again, reach out to us. Check out our webpage here, bluelinefutures.com. Remember that futures and options trading does involve risk of loss, may not be suitable to all investors. Good luck, good trading.